Hello. On this episode of the Who Am I series, we're going to be covering the case of the Sumter County Does. The Sumter County Does were found on August 9, 1976, in the northeast part of Sumter County, South Carolina. They had died less than 24 hours prior to their discovery, so their bodies were not decomposing and their faces were recognizable. Investigators noted that both victims were clean and well-groomed. Their toxicology exams did not reveal any drugs or alcohol in their system, but it was noted that they were not smokers during their lifetime. Their cause of death was homicide by gunshot. Each victim had been shot 3 times, once in the throat, once in the chest, and once in the back, and the weapon used was a .357 caliber revolver. Jack Doe was a white male whose skin had an olive complexion. He's estimated to have been between 18 and 30 years old, although his dentition suggests that he's over 27. Although it is noted that he looked younger due to his clothing and his build. He stood between 6 foot and 6'1", and he had an athletic build. He weighed anywhere from 150 to 155 pounds. He had brown eyes, brown hair, and distinctive bushy eyebrows. He had 2 2-inch scars on his right shoulder area and scars on his back, which suggested to investigators that he played contact sports during his life. He also had a 4-inch appendectomy scar. He had undergone extensive dental work during his life. He had a crown on his left front tooth, which was either acrylic or porcelain, and he had fillings in most of his upper teeth. He did have some missing teeth on both the top and the bottom of his mouth, but it had really only been noticeable on the top back left side. He was also missing his wisdom teeth on the bottom in the back. And he had undergone a unique type of root canal surgery during his life. Now, all of this dental work was similar to the style of dental work performed in the United States at that time, although investigators cannot confirm whether or not the dental work was performed in the United States. And it has been speculated that Jack Doe was in the middle of undergoing a complete dental restoration. And it's possible that he was undergoing this dental restoration due to either an accident or tooth decay. Also, this extensive dental work does suggest that he had a higher socioeconomic status. Jane Doe was a white female whose skin also had an olive complexion. She was somewhere between 18 to 25 years old and was 5'5". She had a slim build and weighed somewhere between 100 and 105 pounds. Her eyes were either bluish, blue-gray, blue-green, or hazel, and she had reddish-brown or brown hair. She had 2 small hair moles on her left cheek near her mouth and another on the right side of her face. She also had a mole behind her right calf. She had pierced ears, but she had no surgical or other scars on her body. And a distinct feature about Jane Doe is that she had unusually long natural eyelashes. She had never been pregnant, and she had unshaven legs. She was missing her upper and lower wisdom teeth on the right side of her mouth, but she had her upper and lower wisdom teeth on the left side of her mouth. And she had fillings in all of her back teeth. Her front teeth would have appeared straight and even if she were to smile. Autopsies of Jock and Jane Doe revealed that the couple had eaten either fruit or ice cream with fruit not long before they died. Despite their physical resemblance, DNA from both Jock and Jane Doe proved that they were not related in 2007, and speculation shifted from them being brother and sister to them being romantic partners. Their fingerprints, DNA, and dental records are available, and there has been a wide distribution of their sketches, descriptions, dentitions, and fingerprints internationally. Both Jock and Jane Doe were found fully clothed. Jock Doe was wearing a red t-shirt that read Coors America's Light Beer on the front and Camel Challenger GT Sebring 75 on the back, along with a Snoopy design. He was also wearing faded Levi jeans and sandals. He was carrying a pack of Grant's truck stop matches in his pants pocket, which will be discussed later. He was also wearing a yellow gold Belova Accutron wristwatch with a Twistoflex band, and authorities have the serial number on file. And he was wearing a 14-karat gold ring set with gray or Lindy Star sapphire stone. The initials JPF were engraved inside the ring, and it had a tiger eye setting with a Florentine finish. The ring was described as being of a Far Eastern design, and both the ring and the watch were quite expensive pieces of jewelry. Jane Doe was wearing an unbleached white muslin blouse over a pink front-tying halter top. She was also wearing blue denim cutoff shorts similar to Daisy Duke's, and a floral print scarf tied around her waist as a belt. Her shoes were stride-right wedge-heeled sandals that had lavender, pink, and purple straps, and she wore 3 very distinct rings. The first ring was a black oblong stone with what appeared to be small turquoise chips embedded in it. The second ring had an ornate scrolling feather shape with coral and turquoise stones. And the third ring was a simple metal band with red, white, and blue stones. And the first 2 rings had jade elements to them. All 3 rings were made of sterling silver and appeared to be authentic handmade Native American or Mexican costume jewelry. And it appears that these rings originated from the southwestern United States. Jock and Jane Doe did not have any money or identification on their person, and Jock and Jane Doe were not found wearing any underwear, although authorities do not believe that this was a sexually motivated murder. Jock and Jane Doe were found on a dirt road, which was about half a mile from Interstate 95 and South Carolina Highway 341. Locklear Road is a frontage road near the Florence County line, about 25 miles east of Sumter, and it's described as secluded and remote. Based on their belongings, Jock and Jane Doe were believed to have been traveling across the United States before being killed, and it's unknown whether they were backpacking, hitchhiking cross-country, or road tripping in a vehicle of their own. The matches found in Jock Doe's pants pockets came from a truck stop chain which exclusively had locations in Idaho, Nebraska, Arizona, and New Mexico. And his shirt was a promotional item from the Sebring races, which were held in Sebring, Florida in 1975. According to a witness that Jock met at a South Carolina campground, Jock and Jane Doe spent some time in Florida right before their deaths. And this same witness said that Jacques Doe stated that he was taking a vacation of sorts, traveling the United States aimlessly. It's believed by investigators that Jacques Doe was actually named Jacques in life, indicating that he may have been French-Canadian. Also, the witness that Jacques met at the campground said that he was told by Jacques that Jacques had left his Canadian family with his girlfriend, who is presumed to be Jane Doe. Jacques also told him that his father was a well-known, prominent physician in Canada who had disowned him from giving up on his own career in medicine. And this fits with other aspects that suggest that Jacques Doe was from a wealthy family. There's also speculation that Jane Doe is a Middle Eastern exchange student. As to how Jacques and Jane Doe died, in the early morning hours of August 9, 1976, which was the day their bodies were discovered, a man living in the sticks, described by some as a hermit, heard a car scuttling down Locklear Road. He heard someone climb out, and then he heard gunshots. Then the car raced back onto the highway. It's possible that Jacques and Jane Doe were carjacked, possibly by hitchhikers or someone else. Then when they exited the vehicle, someone may have shot both of them. It's also theorized that a trucker shot them to death. Now in 1977, a man was arrested in a nearby town in South Carolina for driving while intoxicated. A revolver that he owned was found in his vehicle. It was later proven through ballistics testing to be the murder weapon of Jacques and Jane Doe. The man was not charged due to insufficient evidence to file charges against him for the murders. Now, the man claimed that his brother-in-law had given him this gun, and his brother-in-law claimed that he couldn't recall where he had gotten it. That was the end of the guns trail as far as investigators were concerned, and both men had alibis on the day that Jacques and Jane Doe were murdered. Now, it's also been theorized that serial killer Henry Lee Lucas murdered the Sumter County Does. There is some speculation about this because Lucas was in Sumter County on August 9, 1976. However, there was no proof at the scene to indicate that he was responsible for these murders. In addition, this theory has been received with a lot of skepticism due to Lucas's penchant for false confessions. I would just like to close this video out by saying that although the investigation is not active, once John and Jane Doe are identified, the investigation will resume. I'll include contact information for local law enforcement in the description box and on the screen. If you have any information that will help Jacques and Jane Doe's families reclaim them and put them to rest, I urge you to come forward. Thank you for watching.